Hello there, I'm Kristin, also known as Voolenvine, here on my YouTube channel where I chat about what I'm knitting on, what I'm sewing, what I'm making, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down this week. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all those things with me. So grab a cup of something, gather around, and let's get into things. But first, just a couple of announcements. Of course, we have our History Make-Along that is currently underway. That is a year-long make-along where we're all endeavoring to make something historically inspired. So whatever your craft is, be it knitting, sewing, weaving, embroidery, you're welcome to join. And the idea is to choose a time period that you're drawn to and make something inspired by it. So there are two ways to join, and the first is to hop on over to the Voolenvine Ravelry group where there's a thread dedicated to this make-along. All you have to do to participate is to join in the chatter, share your whips, your FOs, whatever's inspiring you, and come March 1st, 2021, that is when this make-along is ending, I will lock that thread and choose a random participant to win a giveaway prize. So that should be very, very exciting. And yes, I'm still working on a giveaway prize. I usually wait till the last minute, but I have an idea. I have some ideas brewing in my head. So stay tuned for that. That is still TBD. But if Ravelry is not your jam or you want to double dip, hop on over to Instagram and likewise share your makes over on there using hashtag HistoryMAL. And likewise, come the deadline, I will use a generator to choose a giveaway prize winner. I highly encourage you to use that hashtag, otherwise you will not be entered to win said prize. And it would help me and other people find your beautiful projects, because my friends, they are so beautiful. So definitely check that hashtag out. So inspiring and so beautiful, and yeah, it's just great. The final announcement is that this channel is sponsored by the one and only Skillshare, which is an online learning community platform where you can learn pretty much anything. And week after week I say how much I love Skillshare because again, you can learn anything. I use it all the time for my small business, Voolenvine Yarns, my hand-dyed yarn company, when it comes to things that I need to know or learn in the moment, be it with social media marketing, finances, branding. It's just such a well of information, but it's also great for learning new skills, new crafts, hobbies, because right now we're all stuck at home and I cannot think of a better time to pick up a new hobby. So if that sounds like something that interests you, click on the link in the description box below and you'll get to try Skillshare for 2 weeks absolutely free on yours truly. You're welcome, and thank you, Skillshare. Before I get into what I've been knitting this week, let's talk about what Margot, my lovely assistant, is wearing. She is wearing the Ingalls Pullover, a wonderful pattern by Caitlin Hunter. I knit it, I want to say 1 or 2 years ago out of my hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, using my Weep colorway for the mane, the gray right here, that's Weep. And then for the color work, I used my Succulents colorway, which is kind of like a jadeite green. And I held that double with Ghost Lace, which is a lace weight mohair silk blend. So it worked up so beautifully, and unfortunately I feel like it doesn't get much wear from me. I don't know why. I mean, it's a beautiful pullover and I've tried, I don't think it goes with very much in my wardrobe, believe it or not. And I've tried, I will say, like, I've tried to remedy that, because when I first knit this pullover, it was way too long on me, you know, because normally when I knit my pullovers, I knit them pretty, you know, long, about, you know, down to my hips, so to speak. But lately, given my current wardrobe situation, I have been gravitating more towards crop tops. So I actually vlogged about this if you want to check it out, where I rip it out. Because it is knit top down, it was easy for me just to rip it out and reknit the ribbing at a length that was more suitable for me. But for some reason, I don't know, I just haven't been getting much wear out of this guy. I don't know what that's about. It might be the colors, I don't know. But otherwise, it's a beautiful pattern. I feel like almost revisiting it with different colorways, because it was very quick to knit, and, you know, again, highly recommended. Great for beginners. I would also recommend this for knitters just dipping their toes into color work, because, you know, the yoke is just very simple, very quick, and before you know it, you're smooth sailing through Body Island, and then you're on Sleeve Island, and, you know, you're done. So yeah, really, really great pattern, highly recommend it. And yeah, I'm just a little bummed that I don't get to wear it as often as I had intended to. Maybe this sweater I will de-stash to my niece, because I have a funny feeling she will be able to fit into this. It's very roomy, it's big on me, so it'll be a nice cozy sweater. But that said, let's get into what I've been knitting this week. And again, this is the only project, the only knitting project that I have to share with you. I don't know what's in the water, but lately I'm a very monogamous knitter. Who am I? Who have I become? I have no idea. But anyway, here we are. This is the Quill Shawl, a pattern by Jared Flood, otherwise known as Brooklyn Tweed. This design was inspired by a traditional Shetland hat shawl, which, if you're not familiar, a hat shawl is a square-shaped shawl. So you knit the center square completely in garter stitch. So miles and miles of endless garter stitch. It's wonderful. So, pop on some Netflix or some YouTube videos and, you're on your way. So I cranked that part out pretty quickly. And as you can see here, I've already made it to one of the borders. It's a simple feather and fan stitch, nothing crazy, although I have to admit, you have to be careful with these simple eyelet patterns because while they are simple and easy to memorize, you just have to make sure every now and then you stop and read, or me, why am I talking to you? Your mileage may vary, but for me, I find that I have to stop and read my knitting. I have to stop and make sure that these eyelets line up because otherwise I'll find myself ripping back in fury and having to re-knit again. So, I exaggerate. I'm never furious when I knit. So I'm currently on the 5th round of eyelets and I think I have about 2 more before I begin the knitted on border. So that should take me quite some time, I'm anticipating. Right now it's very smooth sailing. Again, as I mentioned, the feather and fan stitch is very easy to memorize. Most of this is just knit 1 row, purl 1 row, and then 7 rows of eyelet stitch. So yeah, very smooth sailing, very intuitive and relaxing. Anyway, making quite a bit of progress on this. I am hoping to have this done by my birthday. It is my birthday month, by the way. So yeah, this is going to be, or I'm hoping this will be my birthday shawl because, birthday, new shawl. Why not? And you can see the provisional cast on stitch right here. If I want to, I can just rip this out right now, but for some reason I'm just gonna leave it there until it's done, because you never know. You never know. I'm leaving it there for security as a lifeline. And again, I'm knitting the smallest size using US 5 needles as the pattern suggests. The yarn that I'm using is some very, very dear and coveted Cormo that I purchased from Rhinebeck over several years. So I'm actually on the 2nd skein right now. This is the remaining skein that I have left. This is again by Foxhill Farm. They're based in Massachusetts and it's fingering Cormo cross, 100% wool, 394 yards per skein. And here is a close-up of it. It is so yummy, my friends. And yes, I'm very, very happy that this is going to become a shawl because yeah, it's been burning a hole in my stash for years now, and I'm so glad that I found a project for it. Again, if you are looking to get your mitts on some Foxhill Farm, I believe you'll have to get in touch with them via phone or mail because they do not have an online presence. I looked them up. But I will, link to their information down below in case, you do want to reach out to them and see if you can score some of their yarn. But for the most part, I believe that they're primarily accessible through yarn festivals, although that's a different story because of COVID, Corona times. So I think your best bet at this point is just to reach out to them via phone or mail. So yeah, but anyway, all that information down below in the description box. So last weekend, I decided to give my craft room a major deep clean. I went through my closets, my stash, and just pulled stuff out that I plan to donate or just want to de-stash. So I also pulled out a whole storage bin of projects that have been languishing, like, whips of yore. And some of them I'm not sure I'm going to ever finish, so I might rip those out. But one that I really, really do want to finish, I think I cast this on about 2 years ago, and it's just been languishing. It's I want to say about 65% done, and that is my Nightingale pullover. It's living in this Ghastly's project bag that I whipped up for myself a while back. So it's very deep and it holds a sweater. So the Nightingale pullover is a pattern that was published in Pom Pom Quarterly, which came out, let me see, winter of 2018. And this was the issue that was edited by Norah Gaughn, who is a cabling genius, and she designed the cover pullover on here. And this is the Nightingale pullover. So I cast this on, and yeah, right now I have the, let me see, I believe this is the back. I'm pretty sure this is the back panel. So the back panel is done and I'm nearly done knitting the front panel. So let me see. And I'm mid-row. What do you know? Kristin. Anyway, so yeah, so here's where I am with that. And I'm using the yarn that the pattern actually calls for, which is by Quince & Co. in their LARK base in their DAMSON colorway, which is this lovely, moody, glorious, dark grayish purple, I want to say. Dare I say mauve? Once my quill shawl is finished, I'm gonna go full steam on this project because this should have been done yesterday. I mean, looking at it, you can tell this is no walk through the park. This is a labor of love. Look how intricate those cables are. I mean, again, Norah Gaughn is a genius. So yeah, this is definitely not potato chippy. This is one row at a time. Take your time. I'm following a chart. So yeah, it's a little understandable that I kind of let this fall to the wayside, but at the end of the day, I still want this. I want this sweater so bad. So yeah, this is going to take top priority, at least after I'm done with my quill shawl. That is all the creative content that I have to share with you this week, my friends. Once again, sewing is taking a back seat for the foreseeable future. I don't know. I just haven't had any sojo in the tank. So waiting for that to refuel, and I will get back to you once I have more news on my coat that I'm sewing and any other projects that I decide to tackle. So yes, I am gonna move along right into the blather segment where I chat about life stuff, so do you care to stick around? And yes, my photography mojo has apparently been skyrocketing. So I don't know if you've been following my Instagram stories, but I've been posting some photographs that I've been taking. If you've been following this channel, you know that I think like late summer, early fall, I started to get into roller skating, and you know, I was trying to get out and practice every day, which it was going really well, but then winter rolled around and now it's just too bloody cold to go roller skating. So I was kind of feeling a little down about that, but now that my photography mojo has been up and up, I started going on these things that I like to call photo walks. So I've started bringing my camera along with me whenever I leave the house, even to go to the post office or run an errand, the grocery store. I bring my camera along with me and keep an eye out for interesting things, like interesting compositions, shadows, things that catch my eye, and take a photo of them. I find it really relaxing, and because I get really into the moment of it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, it's really fun. And again, it gives me an excuse to get out of the house, get some exercise, some fresh air, if you can call the air here in Bushwick fresh. That's debatable. I've been really enjoying getting out and doing that, and it's very relaxing. It gives me a change of scenery, and it also gives me an opportunity to practice photography, composition. So I highly recommend it if you have any interest in photography, or just want a little hobby to get you out of the house, get a walk in. Because me personally, I am such a homebody. If I don't have a destination, I don't see the point of leaving the house usually, but I know that I do need to get out. I need to walk around, so this has been really good for that. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with my photography walks. So yeah, highly recommend that if you hate exercise. As for what I've been watching, Dennis and I have finally gotten around to watching The Queen's Gambit, which is a show on Netflix. Everyone that I know has been raving about this show, so we finally got around to watching it, and yeah, it is really good. I'm blanking on her name, but she was the lead actress in Emma, the most recent movie version that came out. She's in it, she's the main character, and it takes place in the 1950s, or starts out in the 1950s, and she's a chess-playing wunderkind. And yeah, you do not have to be into chess to be into this show. I mean, I am by no means a chess player. I have no interest in playing chess, but the story is just really, really good, so I highly recommend it. So that said, I'm gonna end things here. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me, and if you're new here, welcome. If you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to like and subscribe down below. I put out a video for your viewing pleasure every week, and until the next video, happy knitting, happy sewing, happy making. Bye!